All right, guys, welcome back. This is episode 2 of JavaScript Everyday series. In the first video, we saw what is JavaScript, why do we need it, and what happens when the JavaScript is not there inside your browser. So it only remains attractive but not interactive. So JavaScript, if the JavaScript is not there, it will stop us making interactions, right? You cannot click buttons or you cannot submit the form, or for that matter, you cannot interact with the website. In this session, we are going to see in how many ways we can write the JavaScript code. There are certain ways with which we can write the JavaScript code and so that the browser can read it when it is given to it. Before that, I would like to make one announcement here. Before jumping on to the JavaScript, I would say that you should have some basic knowledge of HTML and CSS. Why? Because we are going to utilize the HTML code also while we are working on the JavaScript code, right? So if you are interested to learn HTML and CSS too, please mention it in the comment so that I'll work on that series. Okay, jumping on to the console here, and by the way, this is going to be your first coding tutorial wherein you will start coding JavaScript. So I'm excited. I hope you are also. So to start with, let me create a new folder. I'll say new, and I'll say let's open it in the favorite IDE. Mine is Visual Studio Code. You can choose whatever you want to. First, what I'm going to do is first I'm creating an index.html. So I have created index.html. Now, as you can see on the screen, when I type HTML, it gives me some suggestions, right? First says HTML, HTML5, and HTML XML. So currently we are using HTML5 version. When I select that, it has given me a boilerplate. Now, boilerplate is nothing but the bare minimum code which is required to run that index.html. So here, as you can see, at the start, it has given doc type, then meta tag, then header, body, and then closing of HTML. So this is our index.html. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm adding one button over here. It says click me. Now the first type of writing a JavaScript we are going to look at is in inline JavaScript. So what I mean by that is when you are writing JavaScript code inside your HTML code. How do you do that? Let's see. Now here this is the button, and on that button I'm writing a small JavaScript code. Don't worry, I'll explain you each and everything, but first you just see how the code is written. Now whatever I have written after button tag, this part, this is a JavaScript and this is an inline JavaScript. Now let's see how does it behave in the browser. So for that, what I'm going to do is I have installed one plugin which which is which is live server. So whenever you install that plugin, there is a small option you will see at the bottom right corner. Simply click on that. Okay, after this server is run, I can see that index.html file is open on this portal, right? And here I can see our button, that is click me. Now when I say click me, it is showing me an alert. So that is nothing but the job of the JavaScript to show this alert on the web browser, right? So this was one way. This was one way to write the JavaScript inside your HTML code. Now the second way is internal JavaScript. How can we write it? Internal JavaScript can be written after when your HTML is rendered, right? So for example, here in the bigger applications, you will have a lot of HTML inside the body tags. And when the HTML is finished, just before the body tag closes, I'll write script, okay? And here I'll say console.log. Now once again, let's go on the browser and see what does it do. Let me refresh it. See, with the help of console.log, we are printing this hello internal JavaScript in the console of Safari browser. Here, as you can see. So this was the second way of writing JavaScript code. The first one was writing it in with inline fashion. The second one was writing it internally. I'll write it over here. And the third style or the third method to write a JavaScript code is to separate to write the code in the separate file. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm creating a new file called as index.js. JS stands for JavaScript, of course. Here I'll say console.log. This is from external file. Yeah. Now we have written some JavaScript code in the external file, right? But how do we source it inside the index.html? So below script tag, what I'm going to write src script, then src is nothing but the source where the file is residing. That path I'm going to give. Saved it. Now let's see on the browser what does it do. There are multiple consoles that have opened. Okay. Anyway, so this was from the internal JavaScript that we had written in the HTML file, and this is coming from the external file that we have created. That is nothing but index.js. I'll say here external JavaScript. So with these three different ways you can write your JavaScript. Most of the time, not most of the time, but all the time, you will have your JavaScript written in the external file like this, like how we created or like how we wrote. Why? Because the first two methods will make your HTML file too bigger, right? And the second reason is that we always keep our code modular. I mean, HTML file will only have the HTML structure or HTML logic, and the JavaScript file will have only JavaScript code. Alright guys, so that was all about writing your JavaScript with different ways. We saw how this inline internal and external way works differently. In the next session, we are going to see how the JavaScript is rendered or how the JavaScript gets executed in the browser. Next session is very important. Why? Because if you understand that concept, then the advanced concept like async await, event loop, and promises will be easier to understand. So don't go anywhere, keep watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.